What's going on YouTube is JGod316 with another Call of Duty World War II video. In today's video I'll be covering what to expect for weekend number 2 of the beta, which is approaching next week, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on September 1st. So the first thing that they, one of the more important things that they mentioned that'll allow access to more things within the game is the increase of the level cap. And also all the stats from the first week will carry over to the second week. So if you already unlocked the Mountain Division all the way to level 4, you're going to keep that progression. If you already leveled up the M1 or the STG or the M1941, whatever you've upgraded, you're going to have all those things still unlocked with all the attachments. And you'll just be able to use that for weekend number 2. The great part about leveling up to level 40 is 40 out of the 55 total levels that were expected to be in the game before you prestige is a high majority of the game. That's close to 80% of the actual content that will be in the game as far as weapons, and hopefully they'll carry over tons of score streaks. I'm not sure if they're going to level it up so that we can actually have additional level for the actual division, so we can test out those weapons that unlock when you get to the highest tier of those. So there's a few other things that I wanted to mention. I know that their Sledgehammer Games is on top of it within the community, and they've been posting a ton of different things, saying that the things that they're looking at they want to improve. So I did want to touch on those as well. There's a lot of behind the scenes kind of stuff, bugs, glitches that they're working on, that they're aware of, that they're trying to figure out. But there's also a lot of things that they wanted to work on as far as trying to work on some of the call outs that are happening. They call them battle chatter, but basically the different call outs that are happening, they're going to be working on some of those. As far as hit marker audio, so they might be fine tuning that. I think it is a little weak as far as when you're hitting somebody, it doesn't feel that gratification like the toot, 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 toot. You know what I'm talking about from previous games where you get those little thuds when you're hitting. I don't feel it's quite as strong in this game, but it might be because all the other ambient noise is kind of canceling that out. I think they're going to also be looking at some other connection things, especially when you're in a party. So that's going to take care of some of those issues a lot of people were having this weekend. One of the pretty exciting things I think the community is excited about is they're going to be increasing Dom kills to 100 from 50 and testing that out. And then they're also going to be increasing the TDM score to 100 and seeing how that works as far as checking those things out. They also wanted, along with the hit markers, work on some things as far as the headshot indicator. On previous games, a lot of times you'd get those hit markers, but then when you get a headshot, you get that little pop noise. That's especially gratifying when you get those headshots, in addition to having the medal at the top. They're also working on reducing the Molotov to 1 per score streak instead of having the 2. Sprint out time to ADS time. It says refinement in their notes, so that might mean just reevaluating it, see if it's too much, not enough. I think community would say that it probably needs to be just slightly faster, so that you don't get punished for trying to be aggressive in the game. Because if you get punished for being aggressive, then there's really no reason to be aggressive, so that slows down gameplay, which will eventually lead to more and more camping, which could potentially ruin the game. And the incendiary shells are going to be default off, and perhaps those will need a nerf as well. So everyone's seen it where someone comes around the corner, hits you on fire. You might get the kill on them, and then the fire damage takes you out. So that's kind of there. As far as score streaks go, they're going to modify probably the paratroopers, maybe give them a little bit more health or better accuracy, or just rebalance those, and maybe look at the cost of them, because $12.50 for a streak that doesn't do very much, maybe get you 1 up to 3 kills. Really depends on your opponents. If you have really good opponents, they'll probably get 0 kills every single time. And then as far as the recon playing, they're going to look at that to see maybe give it more health. They think it's a little too vulnerable to rifle damage, because you could take it out in a clip if you're really accurate, and up to 2 clips if you're maybe using an SMG with a little bit less damage and range. They're also going to work on some other technical things when it comes to for colorblind support. They're going to adjust that because I guess that's been an issue. And then also the other thing that a lot of people have been talking about is the controller configurations. A lot of people are coming from the boots on the coming to boots on the ground from an advanced movement game where they've been accustomed to having, you know, stick and move, bumper jumper, so tactical this and the flip. You know, there's a lot of different arrangements, and the current workaround, at least a lot of people were doing, is they're just reconfiguring their buttons or remapping them within the actual console themselves. So as far as that goes, that's going to help a lot of people adjust to kind of how the movement in this game works, because if you're so accustomed to doing one thing, it's so much easier just to keep doing that, and being able to adjust to doing drop shots and then just, you know, doing a little jump around the corner and get those shots into it. Makes it a little bit harder to get the target right. So they're going to be working on a lot of these different things. I'm excited for the second weekend. I think it's going to be a much better test of, you know, a lot of the different variables that are going on. It's testing on both different consoles, getting all kinds of different feedback from the community, and being able to identify from weekend 1 to weekend 2. I think for the weekend 1, it was really fresh for a lot of people. I know for myself, when I first started playing, I was like, man, this game feels awesome. But then as soon as I hit the level cap, I got kind of bored, and I was like, all right, cool, maybe I'll put the controller down for a little bit. So I think it's one of those things that it's not quite as, you know, not everything's unlocked, so you're really limited. You know, playing the same 3 maps over and over gets a little bit boring. So hopefully they'll add a couple, you know, at least one more map into the rotation, and then be able to experiment with some of these different things. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to give an update for weekend 2. I'm pretty excited for weekend 2. I think I'll put in a good amount of time, see that level 40 cap, so I can experiment more with weapons and see kind of how the things are working, and hopefully, you know, some of these fixes will solve a lot of the issues people were having. And, you know, just kind of, it's good to see that the company is listening to the community. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'm just gonna go ahead and let this play out, the gameplay play out with the SCG. It was probably one of my earlier matches using it, and I did okay with it. You know, as always, have a great day. Enjoy the video, and thank you, and have a great day.
Enemy recon aircraft in the air. Recon airborne. Care package descending. Protect the TC. Dropping Fritz X-bomb. Well fought. This was an important day.